You left the country to start over, and somewhere over the ocean, you told yourself you'd finally escaped it. But the place you left never let go of the money you built. You are not reckless. You are not naive. You did the brave thing. You moved. But no one ever told you that leaving is a plan, not a ticket. So you booked the flight and called it a strategy. And a strategy you never wrote down is just a wish with a departure date. So stay with me to the end, because there is one question, one that almost nobody tells you to ask, that quietly protects everything you have built. I will hand it to you before we finish, and you can ask it today. Long before any of this, Scripture drew the line. Proverbs 21 verse 5. The plans of the diligent lead surely to plenty, but those of everyone who is hasty surely to poverty. You crossed an ocean on courage. Today, we add the plan, so the crossing actually keeps what it cost you. Let me name the trap. It is called the one-way ticket, believing that leaving a country is a clean break. I know a man. Call him Chidi. 18 years in London, a home, a business, a life built brick by brick. In 2024, he moved to Dubai, exhaled, and told everyone he was finally free of it. He was not, because this is documented. From April 2025, the United Kingdom taxes on residents, not the old idea of home. Live there 10 of the last 20 years and you are a long-term resident, and your entire worldwide estate sits inside UK inheritance tax at 40%. And here is the part Chidi never planned for. Leaving does not switch it off. That reach follows you for a tale of 3 to 10 years after you have gone. You can move to Dubai, live there, and it still counts, as if you never left. Everything Chidi thought he had carried to safety, the flat he sold, the business, the savings, the old country still counted all of it. He had crossed a border, but not the paperwork. As Jim Rohn said, if you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. Chidi fell into theirs. Go back to that verse. The plans of the diligent lead surely to plenty. The diligent plan, the hasty just move. God is not against you leaving. Abraham left, Ruth left. Joseph was carried far from home and still prospered because he stewarded wherever he stood. What Scripture warns against is haste, mistaking motion for progress. Dr. Miles Monroe said it plainly, vision becomes a plan when it is captured, fleshed out, and written. A one-way ticket is not a plan. I'll figure out the money side later is not a plan. A journey you have mapped, that is a plan. The people who lose what they built are almost never the lazy ones. They are the brave ones who moved fast and planned nothing. If this is opening your eyes, pause and tap like. It helps this reach the person booking that flight right now, thinking a ticket is a strategy, because the goal was never just to leave. The goal was to leave and keep what you built. So why do wise, hard-working people do this? It is not stupidity. It is how the journey was sold to us. You planned the arrival with everything you had, the visa, the job, the school, the first apartment. Nobody ever sat you down and said, plan the exit too, plan the years, plan the estate, plan what the old country still claims. Leaving felt like freedom, so it felt like the end of planning, when it was really the start of a harder kind. That is not a character flaw. No one in our families crossed borders with lawyers and clocks. They crossed with faith and a suitcase. They arrived, they worked, they endured, and that was enough to survive. But surviving and stewarding are not the same thing. The generation that leaves with a plan is the first one that gets to keep what it earns. So set the shame down. You did not fail. You were simply never handed the whole map. Starting today, you go and get it. Here is what the one-way ticket actually costs, not in feelings, in everything you own. Your worldwide estate, the house, the business, the accounts, wherever they sit, can be taxed as if you never left. 40%, and there is more than one clock. Protecting a business sale can need 5 clear years away. Protecting the estate, up to 10. 2 clocks, and they do not line up. Come back too soon, a home you kept, a child still in school there, too many days on old soil, and the whole thing can snap back onto you in the year you return. One more that catches people. If you and your partner never married, there is no spouse exemption, no matter how many decades you have shared. Now meet the other man. Call him Emeka. Same London, same 18 years. But before Emeka moved, he sat down with a qualified cross-border advisor and mapped the whole thing. The residence test, the clocks, the estate tail. He left once, cleanly. The country let go on schedule. His children will inherit what he built, not a bill. Same journey. One winged it. One mapped it. The difference was a plan made before the plane. So here is the way through. Pray, plan, act. Pray for wisdom, not for a loophole, but for the humility to ask the questions you don't yet know to ask. Then plan the whole journey. Write it down. Not just how you arrive, how you leave, and what each country still claims when you do. Now hear me clearly. I am not a tax advisor, and that is exactly the point. The worst thing you can do is wing it. The second worst is take tax advice off a forum or a YouTube channel, including this one. Warren Buffett's discipline still holds. Do not save what is left after spending. Spend what is left after saving. Protect first, then build. Ask the advisor the questions Chidi skipped. Which clocks am I running? How long is my tail? What does each country still claim? And get the answers in writing, not in a comment section. Then act. This week, find one qualified cross-border advisor, someone who has done it properly, and book the review. Before you move a single thing. A journey you have mapped is a journey you can actually finish. Now picture the other side. You moved, and this time you moved on purpose. The old country let go on schedule because you counted its clocks before you left. What you built stays built. Your estate is protected. Your children inherit the harvest, not the tax bill. No midnight panic, no letter you never saw coming. Just the quiet dignity of a person who counted the cost and paid it on their own terms. The same ocean you once crossed in hope, you now stand on in peace, because you arrived and you left, both by design. The Nigerian billionaire Tony Elumelu said it. Hard work, resilience, discipline, sacrificing today for a better tomorrow. These are the pathways to lasting prosperity. You already have the courage. You proved it the day you left everything you knew. Now add the plan, and let the crossing finally keep what it cost. And that one question I promised you at the start? Here it is. Before you move a single thing, ask, when I leave, what will this country still claim from me? That question, asked early, is the whole plan in one sentence. It is the difference between Chidi and Emeka. And you can ask it today, before the flight, before the move, before it costs you. So let me ask you directly. Do you have an exit plan or just a one-way ticket? Tell me in the comments, one word, plan or ticket. And if you have moved between countries and learned something the hard way, a clock you missed, a claim you never saw coming, drop it below. Someone booking that flight today needs to read exactly what you know. I built my way out of debt once by refusing to wing the big decisions, by counting the cost before I moved. I know the fear. I also know the freedom of a plan you can hold in your hand. Subscribe. And let's keep doing the math nobody else will sit down and do with you. Pray, plan, and act. We move.